Hey besties. So I know when I first started my self-love journey and trying to get started on what this is, I had no idea what self-love was. Like, where do I get started? How do I do it? Because I've been so putting myself on the back burner for so long that it did not feel natural to me to actually put myself first and start actually like taking care of myself. So I had nowhere to begin, and I tell you, I googled this. I'm like, how do I do self-love? Like, something so simple you think would be like, you should know how to do it. I had to Google. So here are some tips that helped me with starting doing self-love for myself. So my first tip is going to be number one, to start talking to yourself and about yourself with love. What does that look like, right? We can definitely be our own self-critic. So when we're in the mirror, we're like, oh my gosh, I don't like this about myself. So instead about that, start focusing on the positive stuff that you do like. Say, I have beautiful eyes, like I have a nice smile, I'm so loving, like doing that stuff, uplifting yourself, focusing on the positive instead of the negative, and then also talking to yourself, because our little voice in our head can also be deceiving, and we can just say stuff about ourselves that's not true. So whenever you speak negative about it, just switch around and make it positive about yourself. Second one is going to be prioritizing yourself. Now that one's kind of hard for me still to this day. It's so easy for me to put other people's first, to sit on the back burner and let people go first. So really just making sure like what you think first for yourself, you do for yourself first. So making sure, like, if I need time to go do my hair, I'm putting myself first. If I need time to do my makeup, I'm putting myself first before anybody else. And it's really hard to do as a mom, and it's kind of hard to do in a relationship, because obviously in a relationship you want to make the other person happy, but you cannot make them happy if you're not happy, period. The next one is going to be really trusting yourself, and that just comes with a lot of stuff like first instinct. Whatever you feel in your gut, just trust it and go with it. Like, do not second guess yourself. Like, you are so powerful, and like what you're feeling is probably the truth. Do not second guess it at all. So when you start trusting yourself and like putting yourself in that situation of like, you're not letting yourself down, therefore like other people can't let you down because you don't let yourself down, you know? Like, you set that boundary and that line like of that. So trust yourself first. I think the next one is kind of goes with it. It's just also like with trusting yourself, you have to be true to yourself. So how your feelings and who you show up as yourself is you. And there's going to be so many people out there that love you for exactly who you are. So you don't have to pretend to be somebody else and not be yourself. Also, it just takes a whole weight off of your shoulder just being yourself, because you can show up as you are, and like, you don't have to put on a facade like, oh, they see me as this, or, you know, like, I have to act like this because of this. Like, no, like, be you, and you will attract those actual people that love you for who you are, and you don't have to try to impress people all the time. And like, that is stressful on itself. Like, no, attract your people. The right people will come along. Next one, it has been something I still kind of struggle with. It's boundaries. And what I've learned from setting boundaries is it's, once you start setting boundaries, it's not meant to hurt somebody. It's supposed to honor yourself, right? I'm not setting a boundary to hurt anybody else. I'm honoring myself at the end of the day. And you have to remember that self. And people that like respect you and love you will understand that. But boundaries are really hard in the beginning, because you, especially for me, like people pleasers, you don't want to hurt anyone's, you know, feelings, and you want to make everyone feel like, you know, they're heard and loved. But the thing is, it's setting that boundary to let them know, like, hey, like, this is where I draw the line. Like, you can't treat me that way, because I respect myself higher, which means you need to respect me as well. And if you can't do it, then you're not a part of my life, you know? And it just, setting those boundaries are super key to keeping your peace and loving yourself more. And I think the most important self-love one is really giving yourself forgiveness for when you don't show up as your true self. Also forgiving yourself when you're not being nice to yourself, because it's kind of, you know, it's hard to like to get in this habit. And also just give yourself a break from judgment for yourself. Like, this whole journey of self-love, it's not linear, and it takes time, and it's really something you have to do every day. Is really put in the effort, just like you show up for work, just like you show up for other people. You got to show up for yourself and really do it every day. and we might slip up, and it's just to forgive yourself and do better next time. I love you guys. I will have more tips on self-love, but this is just what I'm learning along the way as well, and I'll see you guys next time.